Call the public hearing to order. Schopenhauer would like to read the standard two public hearing.
Thank you. I read a little bit of the public hearing notice and then give you a little bit of an update on grant application that reasons for the hearing. St. Louis County will hold a public hearing on Monday, April 3rd, 2023 at 5:50 p.m. in the Board of Legislators chamber at 48 Court Street, Canton, New York, for the purpose of hearing public comments on the county's recently finished community development block grant project entitled SLC Cares Program Grant Number 1106 CV HR 29-21. So in the fall of 2021, the county applied for and was awarded $580,000 in CDBG COVID relief funds through the State Office of Community Renewal. And the county is required to hold two public hearings for these types of grants. The first one was held on August 9, 2021. That hearing was required before the formal application was submitted. And this, the second public hearing, is required to offer the Board of Legislators and the public an overview of the outcome of the project. So there are a number of items that I'll just share briefly, and then we'll open up for comment. The amount that was made available was, as I mentioned, $580,000. $475,600 was used for rehabilitation assistance of homes. $75,400 was used for program delivery, and $29,000 in administration fees. Out of this funding breakdown, all the rehabilitation dollars and administration funds were expended. A total of $34,734 of program delivery funds were not expended because the grant completion date arrived before funds could be reprogrammed. A request was made for a second extension for the program. However, that extension request was with the funds that were expended. 8 households were assisted with an average rehabilitation cost of $59,450. For these grants, over 70% of the funds have to go to assist low and moderate income individuals, and the percentage for this grant was 89%. We're well over that 70% requirement. And the opportunity for comments on this program will be gathered here tonight. And individuals can also issue comments by telephone, email, or in person in the county planning office until April 14th. And with that, I'll open it up for any comments from the board of the general fund.
Seeing no comments, the hearing is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Call the April 3rd board meeting to order. Due to extenuating circumstances, Mr. Sheridan will be attending remotely as announced. Mr. Jeanette will attend remotely from 7637 New York State Route 96, Victor, New York. And Mr. Forsythe is excused tonight. We'll start by prayer. Oh, roll call first.
Reagan,
Here.
Forsythe, Lightfoot,
Here.
Sheridan, Smithers,
Here.
Denisha,
Here.
Perkins,
Here.
Hull,
Here.
Hay,
Here.
Hager,
Here.
Webster,
Here.
Burke,
Here.
Jeanette,
Here.
Terminelli, here, Curran, here. 13 present.
Okay, if we could stand and do the prayer.
Heavenly Father, this evening we ask that you help us use the springtime to revive newness in our hearts, our homes, and our lives. Father, we also ask you to help us to be more thoughtful, considerate, and generous in all our interactions with others, and never forget the true meaning of the Easter season. While we live our day-to-day lives, remind us of the beauty of spring, what new beginnings mean, while presenting us with situations where we may support one another. Dear Father, we ask that you grant us the insight to show compassion, the wisdom to make the best decisions, and the courage to stand behind them. Father, we also ask for peace. Peace in a world that seems to have turned upside down. When our evening's work is complete, please guide us on our journeys home and grant us all a safe return. For all these things, we ask your blessing in Jesus Christ, your Son, in whose name all things are possible. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get a motion to approve the agenda. Ms. Curran, second, Mr. Mr. Denisha. Can I get an approval of the minutes of March 6, 2023? Ms. Curran, second, Mr. Sheridan, or Smithers. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carried. This time we have Mr. Dean Buhari of the City of Ogdensburg manager to address the board.
Vice Chair.
Into the mic.
Vice Chair, esteemed County Administrator, honorable legislators, ladies and gentlemen. As the newly appointed City Manager for the City of Ogdensburg, I am deeply humbled and grateful for the opportunity to address you today. It is my utmost priority to collaborate with the St. Lawrence County to enhance the quality of life of our residents and promote economic growth in the region. I understand that we have encountered challenges in the past, but I am with confidence that I can move forward together in a positive and productive manner. I value open communications and welcome your feedback and ideas on how we can achieve our shared goals. Transparency, communication, and cooperation will be the foundation of our working relationships. As a city manager, I recognize and respect the county's supremacy and authority and committed to make any necessary course corrections. By working together, I believe we can create stronger and more vibrant community. I'm committed to ensure that our partnership is productive, positive, and mutually beneficial. In closing, I am deeply honored to speak with you today and excited to be a partner with St. Lawrence County and for the progress and growth. I'm reminded by poet James Russell Lowell saying, "Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne, yet that scaffold sways the future and behind the dim unknown. Although the moral arc of the universe may be long and winding, I am steadfast in my commitment to do my part in bending that arc towards a brighter, more equitable future for all." Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. I think I can speak for all saying it's great that you brought an olive branch in, and I think we can definitely work together for a brighter future.
Sure, I look forward to it.
Okay, communications.
A resolution was received from County State Government. Three resolutions were received from the community. Two. Two supporting Senate Bill S. 237, omnibus emergency services volunteer incentive act, and three encouraging New State Senate and finally. Two. Resolution was received from Delaware County. Resolution was received from County. Two resolutions were received from Greene County. One is asking Governor Hochul and the New York State Public Service Commission to dismiss New York electric and gas rate hike request and to correct the billing problem before the rate hikes. And two, urging action by New York State Legislators to advocate on behalf of the community colleges. Community colleges. Two resolutions were received from Madison County urging New York State to return home rule authority to the counties, stating of all Indians. Regulations under the and two, opposing waste. Resolutions were received from Sullivan County, one opposing proposed New York State. Two opposing Governor. We're calling on the state to provide funding to counties and county board of elections. There are additional. Study reform of New York State civil service system.
We'll move to citizen participation. Any citizen wanting to address the board is asked to stand at the microphone and state their name before beginning the talk. The citizen participation will be in the form of an oral address directed to the members of the board. This part of the agenda is not a time for audio, visual, PowerPoint presentations, or performances. The address will be limited to a time of 5 minutes. And the first one is Mary Skelly.
Good evening, St. Lawrence County Legislators. It's been a long time. Congratulations on the 14 of you that have remained in your position. Good job, Joe. I ran as a write-in. Got some votes. And congratulations, Mr. Ben Hall. You're the newest member, correct? From Madrid, attached to maybe a church that had some misconduct allegations against children. So what I do is I raise awareness and fight for the safety and well-being of children. And hopefully this body's awake now that schools are hotbeds. They have been. We've seen it nationally, but right here in our own county. I mean, it's just the lack of empathy is, I'm reached out to every day. Congratulations on your appointment to city manager. Don't know if you're aware you're on the government watch list, but so am I. This county put me on the watch list. It's true. My hometown community. DSS, we know about DSS. They have not changed one bit. Their rate has to be at least still what it was at 5 times the rate of removal versus bringing families together and not tearing down the nuclear family. Nothing's changed. I felt like I was used and every other vulnerable parent that came in here for a year by the judge, Moses, because we were vulnerable and our families were torn apart and our children were suffering and they're still suffering today. Children are being bullied in schools, are being assaulted. It's being covered up by schools. Camera footage is disappearing. For the lawmakers, I came here for a year for mandatory online safety. We have a child in the custody of foster care who was placed on Tinder this past month. DSS is getting braver and braver and braver. The amount of lies. One bullet point, a mother can't even report a crime with Crime Stoppers. That's you remove a child because a mother feels that she's seen something and wants to say something. So DSS, every single day, just removing children on hearsay evidence. When this nation has 68% of felonious crimes, murders, rapes, and child crimes that are not being prosecuted. I just spoke to the ADA and DA Pasqua last Thursday. He said one specific crime against a child was, you know, the saying, Mary, diet ham sandwich. This one's going to be tough. Well, we've got a buffet of crimes against children over here. They're not prosecuting felonious crimes. So as a nation, tomorrow we're going to see probably one of the most iconic mugshots. Some of us could probably put ours up. I'm not here to be a hypocrite or anything. I have a mugshot I could put up to tomorrow. I struggled in my lifetime. We have our struggles. But with the prayer, we come together in peace. And we come together for our children. Do we want to hand this country over to our children? Do we want to hand this county over to our children? Where nothing has changed in a year's time since I've been gone. Nothing. And then I watched the finance committees, the misappropriation of monies. So now we have a sheriff campaign running. One of the sheriffs silenced me from speaking on his campaign page that he's running on, like I did. The other one wants to work with this body to get safety in schools by way of officers. So this body's actually going to have to work. And we're gonna have to find some money, maybe make some cuts to make schools safer. I'm here again to pledge, please, for our children, let's make it a safer St. Lawrence County. Thank you.
Aaron Strader.
My name is Darren Schrader. I work for the county. I make a lousy $39,000 a year to be on the state highways. So my son, my poor kid, I'm talking about schools. My son got choked out at the beginning of this school year. He just got violently stabbed December 12th, 3 times. And now we're getting retaliated by the school, trying to hide stuff. And we're getting threatened basically by the school, saying maybe we have to pay their way. Or not, it's my lawsuit against them. 2 years ago, my son got jumped by 7 kids. That's what the first report was 3. Then I found out 7. Now I found out a total of 10 kids. Second concussion that he had in Lisbon school. 3 years before that, he got jumped by 4 kids. Severe concussion, had his head was sticking out of him. The nurse decided to send him home. Oh, he's going to be fine. 2 days later, he called my mother, his mother, in the boys' bathroom, curled up underneath the toilet. Couldn't remember where he was or nothing. So I took him to Brown. So between all this nonsense I'm going through, I told a lawsuit against the school, then I'm not going to retaliate from them. And then OFA, I thought, you know, I went to OFA. I actually liked OFA. So my wife and I split up because we couldn't take the pressure of it all. We gave birth, so my kids went to the birth. I'm paying a lawyer outrageous amount of money just so I could try to serve reserve somewhat rights in this county. And if there was more cops in the schools, it might not have happened. I know what I get from the schools. All that didn't happen. This didn't happen. So where did he get hurt at then? He didn't get hurt at home. We were turned in 15 times by Lisbon School alone to CPS. I threw him on the door. Said, don't come back without a warrant. Last time the sheriff came to my door, and I told him, if you leave without a warrant, he's not have the right to check in your kids. I said, no, you don't. So this is the kind of nonsense that the parents get. All because they don't want nothing. Well, my son was getting stabbed. So I called Channel 7 News. Well, we're not going to report on that. You want to know why? Because Kevin Kendall didn't want the school to be acknowledged or something like that. So my thing is, change has got to come. I mean, like I said, I'm only a little peon totem pole, but I'm not going to stop until something done with these schools. And if my son decides to defend himself, oh my God, he gets thrown out of school for that. All because he put his hands up to hit one kid just enough to get him away. My son gets suspended for 5 days. Superintendent's son, state trooper's son, state trooper's kids. This is the shit that we got put up with in this place. I'm sorry for my language, but you know, how much more do I got to put up with? So when you guys pass all your budgets, and thank you for that, think of the peons. But basically, that's what I am. So think about more grant police interaction in schools, because actually half of them are corrupt too. Because I won't even name the cop told me, well, kid that stabbed my son got a 2nd degree. I said, what is that? 2nd degree. Yeah, it was 3rd degree. So 3rd degree, this is 3rd degree. For that way, it'd be misdemeanor. So the kid didn't have to go to court. I asked for a restraining order, they wouldn't even give me one. Then I called family court, see what happened. Well, we have no record of it. Because probation took over, but the kid on probation I did to my son, and still no restraining order. So my son was out of school for 30 days because he couldn't comprehend with it, you know, couldn't deal with it in school. All base said they're gonna put this kid over in a different lunchroom and everything. You know what they did to my son to make him not realize? Put him right next to him, right in the lunchroom. So this is stuff that we gotta have for. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to speak for citizen participation? Seeing none, we'll move on to the presentation of resolution. Ms. Curran?
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing the chair to sign a federal equitable sharing program agreement and annual certification report for the sheriff's office.
I get a motion? Mr. Hall? Any discussion? None, all in favor? Motion carried. Ms. Curran,
I offer a resolution declaring April Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
can I get a second? Mr. Fay? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Ms. Curran,
I offer a resolution designating April 2023 as Fair Housing Month.
can I get a second? Mr. Burke? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Ms. Curran,
I offer a resolution proclaiming Earth Day in St. Lawrence County.
can I get a second? Mr. Fay? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Ms. Curran,
I offer a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the district attorney's office for the Faro zone equipment.
can I get a second? Mr. Burke? Any discussion? Mr. Lightfoot?
I have an amendment to offer regarding this resolution. And what I would be offering is replacing the heading of the resolution with starting off the authorizing the chair to sign contracts. And after that, it remains the same. Okay? Any questions on that? All right. The next change would be at the now therefore be it resolved. That will change to read that now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Legislators authorizes the chair to sign contracts for hardware and software related to FARO zone equipment upon approval of the county attorney. And question? Further added, be it further resolved that the Board of Legislators authorizes the treasurer to modify the 2023 budget for the district attorney's office for Faro zone equipment as follows. And I would move those amendments to that resolution.
Can I get a second on that? Ms. Curran? Any discussion? Mr. Burke?
Just a question, if I could ask. Joe,
Sure.
What's the essence of it?
The essence of the change. All right, so the first one talks about, let me see. It says in the first, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Legislators authorizes the treasurer to modify the 2023 budget for the county's clerk's office for the purchase of equipment related to the turnkey management solutions system. That's been deleted and replaced with that now therefore be it resolved that I read. The be it further resolved, all it does is add to the resolution, the authorization for the treasurer to proceed with what she does. And it just restates what was eliminated in the now therefore be it resolved.
County Administrator?
So when the resolution was considered at committee, I don't believe we had knowledge of a need to sign a contract at that time. And in order that we not have to extend another month, having the financial authorization, but not having contractual for the chair, it would be delayed. So we wanted to make sure if the board would consider authorization for the contract as well.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we need to vote on the amended resolution. Roll call vote. Mr. Jeanette?
Aye.
Yeah. Reagan,
Yes.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Sheridan?
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Tanisha, Perkins,
Yes.
Paul, Fay.
Yeah.
Haggard, Webster. 14 yes, one absent.
Motion carries. Ms. Curran?
I offer a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the Office of Emergency Services for the St. Lawrence County Hazardous Material Hazmat Team.
And so Mr. Denisha is the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Kelly,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Reagan,
Yes.
Lightfoot.
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Paul. Fay,
Yes.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
14 yes, one absent.
Motion carries. Ms. Curran?
Yes, I have a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the county clerk's office for the purchase of equipment related to the turnkey management solutions.
Can I get a second? Mr. Fay? Any discussion? Another roll call vote?
Terminelli,
Yes.
Curran,
Yes.
Reagan,
Yes.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Fay,
Yes.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster,
Aye.
Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
14 yes, one absent.
Motion carries. Ms. Curran?
I offer a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the county clerk's office for the purchase of office furniture.
Get a second? Mr. Burke? Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Curran,
Aye.
Reagan,
Aye.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Fay,
Aye.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster,
Aye.
Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Terminelli,
Yes.
14 yes, one absent.
Motion carries. Mr. Hall?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to offer a resolution modifying the 2023 budget. The Office for the Aging, right?
One before that.
Oh, my apologies. I'd like to offer a resolution authorizing the chair to sign an agreement for the impaired driver program service for the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles.
Give a second. Mr. Lightfoot? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Hall?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd I'd like to offer a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the Office for the Aging for the Canton Nutrition Center.
Can I get a second? Mr. Fay, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Reagan,
Yes.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Sheridan? Mr. Sheridan?
Yes.
Tanisha,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Fay,
Yes.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster, Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Rinaldi. Curran. 13 yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Hall.
Association of County Health Officials for Education and Marketing of Heating and Cooling Centers through the Climate and Health Adaptation Project, modifying the 2023 budget. for the health department.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran? Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Fay,
Yes.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster.
Aye.
Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Rinaldi.
Yes.
Curran. Aye. Reagan,
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Hall.
You, I offer a resolution authorizing the chair to sign an agreement with Seaway Valley Prevention Council, the New York State Public Health Corps Fellowships Program.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Hall.
I offer a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the Public Health Department to accept the National Association of County and City Health Officials Certification and Infection Control Scholarship.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran? Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Fay,
Yes.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Terminelli,
Yes.
Curran. Aye. Reagan,
Yes.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
13 yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Hall.
Chair, I offer a resolution. The resolution is entitled Approval of Rates for Related Services for the Preschool and Special Education Program.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a resolution authorizing the chair to sign contracts for services for the preschool special education program in the public health.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Hall.
Chair, I offer a resolution proclaiming April 3rd through April 9th, 2023 as National Public Health Week.
Can I get a second? Curran? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette, you want to
Thank you,
go or? Go through
Thank you,
here?
Mr. Chair. Offering resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the Department of Highways from New York Power Authority for funding received for damages caused to County Route 23 during the Smart Path project.
Can I get a second? Mr. Denisha? Any discussion? Mr. Terminelli?
I'll be recusing due to my husband's employment.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Day,
Yes.
Packard,
Yes.
Webster.
Aye.
Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Terminelli,
Recuse.
Curran,
Aye.
Reagan,
Aye.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
12 yes, 1 abstain, 2 absent.
Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution authorizing the chair to sign a contract with J.E. Sheehan Contracting Corporation for rehabilitation of Skate Creek Road, bridge over Oswegatchie River, BIN 3340930, Town of Fine.
I get a second, Mr. Denisha, any discussion? I will be abstaining due to my employment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution approving federal aid local project supplemental agreement for right-of-way acquisition for Lazy River Road Bridge over Grass River, PIN 7753.32, BIN 3341820.
I get a second. Ms. Curran, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution authorizing the County of St. Lawrence to accept real property obtained by the state of New York relative to the Lazy River Road over Grass River Bridge Replacement Project, PIN 7753.32, BIN 3341820.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
No second. Mr. Denisha. We'll go again. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next resolution?
Are you saying something to me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry about that. Authorizing the chair to sign a contract with Barton and Logidus DPC for design and environmental permitting for proposed multi-use trail segment from Morgan Road to Picketville Road.
Give it a second. Any discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Offering a resolution authorizing the chair to sign a St. Lawrence River Valley Redevelopment Agency and Community Development and Environmental Improvement Fund application for the multi-use recreational trail system in St. Lawrence County.
I get a second. Mr. Byrd. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution authorizing submission of comments and recommendation to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation regarding the South Colton Conservation Easement Recreation Management Plan.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution modifying the fiscal year 2022 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act budget to transfer formula funds from dislocated worker accounts to adult accounts.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran. Any discussion? I'll have a roll call vote.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Paul.
Aye.
Day,
Yes.
Packard,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Terminelli.
Yes.
Curran. Aye. Reagan,
Aye.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
14 yes, 1 absent.
Motion carries. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Offering a resolution setting the allocation algorithm for workers' compensation plan participants for 2024, 2025, and 2026.
Can I get a second? Mr. Lightfoot, any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution authorizing and approving a settlement agreement between Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and St. Lawrence County with respect to an action relating to the opioid crisis.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution for St. Lawrence County Board of Legislators supporting a request by the city of Ogdensburg and supports Senate Bill S-4810 and Assembly Bill A-5276 that allows for the taxation of state property located in the city of Ogdensburg.
Can I get a second? Curran, any discussion? Ms. Terminelli.
I'll be recusing because of my position on the Ogdensburg Region Port Authority Board.
Ms. Curran, did you have something?
I'm really hoping that all of the land that the state owns being untaxable at this time is what creates such a budgetary issue for the city of Ogdensburg. Creates the high taxes that keep people from wanting to move there into some of the beautiful houses that are there that could be renovated. There's a lot of history in Ogdensburg. Hoping that the state is willing to pony up so that everyone that's from Ogdensburg and lives there has a shot at reasonable taxes and regrowing their city.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm proposing resolution commemorating the bicentennial of the town of North Fork.
Can I get a second? Mr. Burke. Any discussion? Mr. Burke.
I'm honored to be a co-sponsor of this resolution. North Fork has a distinguished history as outlined in the resolution. Great community. Thank you for recognizing their
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm offering a resolution authorizing the chair to sign contracts appropriating American Rescue Plan Act funds for the purpose of funding broadband development and installation projects and modifying the 2023 budget for the county administrator's office.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran. Any discussion? Seeing none, all roll call
Perkins,
vote. Yes.
Hull, Hay,
Yes.
Haggard. Yes. Webster. Burke. Jeanette,
Aye.
Terminelli. Yes. Curran. Aye. Reagan,
Aye.
Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Sheridan.
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Nisha. 14 yes, 1 absent.
Motion carries. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm proposing a resolution modifying the 2023 budget for the county administrator's office for the upgrade of electronics work order software to include a smartphone application.
We get a motion, Mr. Denisha. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Hull. Hay.
Yes.
Haggard. Yes. Webster,
Yes.
Burke,
yes.
Jeanette,
Aye.
Terminelli. Yes. Curran. Aye. Reagan. Lightfoot,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Smithers,
Yes.
Denisha,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
14 yes, 1 absent.
Motion carries. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm proposing a resolution authorizing the chair to sign a contract for heating and cooling water system treatment and Legionella prevention program services for county buildings.
I get a second. Ms. Curran. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am proposing a resolution for celebrating April as National County Government Month and commemorating a milestone birthday of an original member of the St. Lawrence County Board of Legislators.
I get a motion. Ms. Curran, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Jeanette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm proposing a resolution authorizing the salary matrix changes for CSEA grade 7 for 2023 and 2024.
I get a motion. Mr. Denisha. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Lightfoot.
Mr. Chair, I offer a resolution authorizing the filling of vacancies and move for its adoption.
I get a second. Ms. Curran, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to offer a resolution proclaiming the month of April as National Child Abuse Prevention.
Can I get a second? Curran, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to propose a resolution urging the New York State Legislature Journalism Sustainability Act.
Can I get a second? Ms. Curran, any discussion? Mr. Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This resolution urges our state legislature to recognize the importance of our community newspapers, of which we have numerous here in St. Lawrence County. And we urge all of you to support it because not only does it help nurture local jobs, but more importantly, it helps nurture our communities by encouraging open discussion and free discussion of the important issues of the day, as well as those matters that make communities what they are. In a time of political polarization, such as we've never seen before, this helping to encourage the can help bring our communities together and ensure that our citizens are informed about the issues of the day. Thank you.
Mr. Burke.
I wholeheartedly support local journalism. I guess my question is at what cost? What's the cost to taxpayers? And reading the resolution, the income tax credit of $250 to encourage readers who subscribe. So I guess I'm wondering, are we looking to give a tax credit to readers? And what's the overall cost when we subsidize 50% of local news salaries for the first year and 30% for each of the next 4 years? Again, I wholeheartedly support local journalism. They're important. I guess I'm just wondering what the cost of this package is, and if we should be asking our constituents to support.
Do you want to respond? Wait, see if there's any other discussion anyone wants.
Curran.
So I would say that there's a huge cost to not having local news that is fair and balanced. When you have a lot of your news online, it can change without anybody really noticing as people want to change a story. The reason that the Bible has lasted for centuries is because it's in print. Constitution is still available to us. That's why people still talk about it. The minute that you don't have local news in print, you stand all sorts of risk factors that are too numerous to go into here. I don't think that, I mean, for years, people have bought the paper just to buy the paper. I think that I certainly listen to people if they didn't feel that us supporting the news was worthy, but I think that it is a very real important thing that we cover local issues so people know what's going on, know what we're doing, know what their money is being spent on, and that it is captured for posterity, so to speak. When I toured the news building that the printing press was being taken down at, where they used to print the paper every day in Messina, they had almost, well, from 1910 on, still in printed paper bound there. I bet there's a lot of history in those papers that hasn't adequately or correctly been carried down through history to us. I think that history is worth preserving, and I would certainly donate to any fund that kept the news accurately in a piece of paper that generations to come can read and understand what actually happened in a situation.
Any other discussion? Mr. Lightfoot.
No discussion, just a couple of comments. You know, I look at a couple of these whereases. First one doing with sustainability, providing tax credits to newspaper publishers for local newsroom salaries. And at quite a healthy percentage, I might add. And also provide credits, income tax credits, to encourage readers who subscribe to local news publications. Now, what the hell is going on with our state budget with respect to the crime in New York City, the crime in New York State as a whole? What is it about, we have numbers of homelessness out there, and that these monies that have been offered up would do a heck of a lot to curb that crisis statewide, I would expect, given the literally millions of dollars. I have nothing against public radio or the Council of the Arts, but I think that this is money that is being indiscriminately spent. It could be spent on many more things that would matter. Imagine the number of police officers you could put in the schools in the state of New York with these monies. Now, you tell me what's more important, you reading an article in a newspaper or protecting our children? I'll be voting against this. Mr. Smithers.
Yeah, I would have trouble supporting this without knowing what the cost is going to be. It looks like it's going to be an unknown and quite a significant cost. I've supported local journalism for many years. And it is quite an increase in the cost. And I don't think we should try to encourage readers by giving them a personal income tax credit of $250. That just seems like not a wise expenditure of finances.
Any other discussion? Mr. Denish.
Chairman, I support local journalism, always have, listened to local radio stations, longtime subscriber to Watertown Daily Times for many, many years. I still have a subscription to the Governor Press and Singular. But you know, one of the things that and I understand that journalism with the electronic age has created some problems. You know, when we start propping up so many industries, so many different places. $700 million film production tax credits. That money's going to come from somewhere. You know, we're not going to say we're going to spend $700 million. Somebody's going to make that up. $92.5 million tax credit for New York City musical and theatrical productions. Again, somebody's going to make that up. $40 million Council on the Arts. You know, I just we cannot continue. You know, as much as I value local journalism, times change. I don't want to give up my gas guzzling car for electric, but I'm going to have to. cannot continue to subsidize, just continue to subsidize.
Any other discussion? Ms. Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think Ms. Kern makes an excellent point about the cost to our communities if we lose these independent voices that inform us when the crime rate goes up, that makes us aware about the dangers of shootings at schools, that helps us sort through the rumors from the facts, the exaggerations that we see on the internet that too many people take as reality. Mark Twain once said, newspapers are a community talking to itself. And I think it's important that we keep these independent voices alive, holding local governments and county governments accountable. Since the beginning of colonial America and this American experiment, government at all levels has sustained newspapers because they saw them as promoting the public good by encouraging people to learn to read, to learn about the issues of the day, to understand the issues facing their communities. And, for many, throughout history, the government print contracts were awarded to newspapers, as well as a host of other subsidies to keep them vital forums for discussion at all levels of local government. Thank you for considering this.
Any other discussion? Ms. Kern.
I don't remember who said it, but I remember them saying, history is written by the victors. It can be just as easily rewritten by the losers' descendants over time if there's no written accurate history of what went on. And we see every day where what happens is not adequately portrayed in video press. I would hate to see us not support the news.
Mr. Lightfoot. Just to be clear, I don't, I'm certainly not against the press. I've dealt with the press for years. I used to get a phone call from Jimmy Reagan almost every morning, wanting to know what was going on. I don't think I ever blew him off. I always gave him what I had and what I could give him. Did the same for the Watertown paper and the TV station. So yes, I understand the value of having newsprint, television, those kinds of media to inform the public and allow them to make their own decisions. What bothers me is the amount of money that is being doled out by our legislature and governor in Albany when we are faced with so many other important things that this money could be spent on. If people support a newspaper or a TV program by listening to it or reading the paper, they pay for that one way or the other. And it seems probably that at least most, if not all of, well, I shouldn't say all, most news media is able to survive and progress on the monies that they generate through the sale of their services. But when we're looking at money to this degree. And we don't even know what salaries are going to be, the amount of the salaries that are going to be given tax credits to the tune of 50%. We don't even know what that's going to amount to with the percentages quoted. At least in the next one, it does give you, you know, how many millions of dollars are going out there. I am not against the press. I agree with Jim's focus on this, but I don't agree with those two whereases that said we're going to spend all this money or give tax credits. They're identifying an entity that they are going to narrowly support with a tremendous amount of money. There are a lot of other areas out there that would make better use of these funds. Therefore, as I said, I will be voting against this.
Mr. Webster. I guess one of the things is the newspaper, they show up on scenes, they report, they interview local people. It's something I really hate to see lose. I know we're spending enormous money on broadband so that people can listen to the internet at their house or look at the internet or play games on the internet. We spend an enormous amount on money on the county transit where we pay $2 or $3 to pick up one person and maybe bring them someplace and bring them back. Support a lot of things. One thing I can say is the local newspaper, when something's done that's not right, it's whole. It's not somebody on the phone that calls us, hey, what's going on there? Nothing, click. So we have some local people that's holding our county people. We give Walmart enormous amounts of tax credits to move in and kill our small business. So I think it's important we have somebody locally who can report local truth and it is printed. It's not where they go back online and change it later on. I will support this. I know it's a tough pill to swallow as far as financially, but we do it in a lot of other areas too. Mr. Smithers.
I'd just like to throw in another thought. Best indicator of future performance is past performance. And I am all in favor of maintaining the local journalism's independence. However, when you, wherever they give it, the next thing that comes along is regulations. And then you're not going to have independent local newspapers anymore.
Any other discussion, Mr. Denisha?
Yeah, just one last thing, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, and I'm certainly, I sounded like I was against local newspapers on.
It did.
And I do think they provide a valuable service. But what I'm thinking about is the money. We've already been told I think it's what, $630 million for that money that is supposed to come to New York. This comes to New York State and is supposed to be distributed. Governors are, as has said, just to keep that. Must hold on to that 600. So we're talking another $700 million tax credits. $92.5 million for this, $40 million for this. Where does it end? I will guarantee you that the need for that money is not going to go away. The want for that money is not going to go away. What's going to happen? It's going to be more money to be burden on the taxpayer.
Mr. Lightfoot.
I'll be brief. I just want to point out that the majority in that second whereas that I referred to, most of that money is going to go to the city of New York and various entities within the city of New York. Nowhere in the prior whereas does it state a dollar amount. But given the fact that I think 3 out of the 6 or 7 newspapers in New York that are in financial difficulty will probably be the beneficiaries of this. I just want to shine a brighter light on that. It's about the money here. Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Chair. I will not be supporting this resolution. I think when Ms. Curran noted that she would be happy to donate to a journalism outlet, I think that reflects an important point where I agree with that sentiment. I think we should encourage the community to donate, subscribe, read, discuss, write letters to the editor, be involved. And I don't think there's a soul in this room who is against the thriving local and broader than local news and journalism industry. We are blessed to have a constitutionally protected free press. And that's not something that every nation enjoys. And we need to be thankful for that and guard that. We also want a free media that's not propped up by a government. And I think we've seen in recent years media outlets become more politicized, more polarized, and no one's been immune to that, regardless of your side of the aisle. I think pumping taxpayer money into a struggling entity is not the solution. Many of these outlets they may be nonprofits, but they're not charities. They sell advertisements. They're engaged in business endeavor, and responding to it struggles in an industry by increasing salary subsidies and tax credits won't serve to solve an underlying issue. Trusted media has plummeted to an all-time low in the last couple of years. I think we're all worse off because of that. So I encourage people to be involved, to subscribe to every local news outlet they can, and to engage in a community conversation about what's important in our hometowns, in our communities, state, to be part of that. And frankly, that is the solution to the problem. The solution is not shoveling money at the problem. It's encouraging. It's a cultural shift in how we think about news reporting and journalism. And so I think that's the solution. It may feel good to pass a policy for this, but I don't think it will solve the problem. I think it would just increase expense. So,
Any other discussion? I guess I'd like to weigh in a little bit. I believe in local journalism. I believe in the free market, supply and demand. $832 million here. To me, it promotes a bias depending on what administration's in there. So you're not getting the news the way free news. You're getting a biased news depending on who's in the administration giving out the credits. That's a lot of money. I won't be supporting this. Mr. Lightfoot.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Fay,
Yes.
Haggard,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Birth,
No.
Jeanette,
No.
Terminelli,
No.
Curran,
Yes.
Reagan,
Yes.
Lightfoot,
No.
Sheridan,
No.
Smithers,
No.
Denisha,
No.
Perkins,
No.
Paul. Five yes. 9 no.
Motion fails. Ms. Curran.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
If I may. Normally, when a resolution passes, and as it so states in the bottom of this one, that certified copies of this resolution be forwarded. I would like to add my belief that this resolution, which was turned down, and a certified copy of the turned down resolution be forwarded to these same individuals so that they get the message down there that we are not in favor of what they would be considering at the state level.
Okay,
Seconds that motion.
second that. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Opposed?
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Curran.
I offer a resolution authorizing the chair to sign a contract with the Rural Law Center of New York for indigent appellate representation.
I'll get a second. Mr. Fang. Any discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Opposed? Motion carries. Under the county administrator's report.
Good evening. I have 9 items to update you tonight. First is just to mention that we were fortunate to have our new unified command vehicle as well as the new mobile clinic services on display tonight. I want to thank Director Denner from Emergency Services and Director Ulrich from Community Services for bringing those over so legislators had an opportunity to take a look at what the early iterations will be. The unified command vehicle is truly a team effort from a funding perspective and will continue to be from a use perspective from public health, from the sheriff's office, and from emergency services. The mobile clinic is an opportunity that falls in line with the board's policy on bringing services to where people are. So the board's been supportive of the outpost creation for highway. The board most recently has supported diversifying our locations for social services. And this is another example of community services during a very difficult time in both the mental health and the opioid epidemic of being able to bring services where they're most needed. So I've talked with Director Ulrich about organizing an implementation plan group together so that there'll be a clear picture of how these services will move around the county, who will be providing the services within the clinic, and if in fact there's a request for services through the mobile clinic, how the public would go about making those requests. So we'll be working on those. If you're interested, please let us know. Certainly an ongoing conversation as we roll this out. Next up, wanted to mention to you some exciting news from social services. You've heard from our commissioner that he has organized a new homeless unit to be addressed by both caseworkers and examiners in the department. And I'm happy to report that at current time, 12 individuals, a combination of individuals and families, have been moved to permanent residence locations. So he is 2 months into this process. He's moved an examiner and moving toward, I believe today, our caseworker began. And that is 2 months. And what that demonstrates at our February numbers, if you may recall, came in at 65. That's a 20% reduction. And the last 6 months, which we all are familiar with the number in December being at 116, but that average for 6 months is 68. And so just under that 20% at 18% reduction in our homeless numbers. Pretty remarkable for a brand new unit. There is no model out there. St. Lawrence County is really treading in new territory, and he'll be joining his fellow commissioners across the state this week in Albany and has intentions of sharing that. As we know, this is far wider spread than St. Lawrence County. So very proud to report that on his behalf. Also, another huge highlight for social services, our safety assessments. You're familiar that that's been the beacon of all of the work in that we started out making it a priority first, and we hovered around that 96, 98%. And traditionally it'd be anywhere from 80 or 90 to over 100 in those needs. Now we're well ahead of the state average, but I'm happy to report that we officially hit 100% of 122 safety checks that were required for the month of February. They have also reduced the workers with more than 15 from 14% down to 7, and the overdue investigations from 28% down to 23. So some remarkable, certainly you'll hear more. We are working at Legislator Chair Hall of the Services Committee's request to focus in on a unit per Services Committee. So I did want to take the opportunity to share those statistics with you, as I think they're pretty remarkable. Also wanted to mention to you, we have yet to fill the fiscal position in social services. So we will talk tomorrow with the Vacancy Review Committee about some new strategies that we'd like to employ. That is nearing a year. You may recall that our last fiscal manager left in December of 21. And so we went all of 22 with some help. We did have the position filled for a short period of time. But we would like to get that position filled. I think that is truly a handicap to our commissioner, not to have someone with the knowledge and experience in that role. So we'll be talking about that. You can expect to see some more information about that in services this month. And to that point, tomorrow morning, Vacancy Review Committee will meet, and they have 7 positions to consider. A few weeks ago, the board requested that a business owner for the No Dogs Left Behind join us for a committee meeting. I'm happy to report also that Jeff Berry, the founder of No Dogs Left Behind, will join us on April 17th to present. Chair Hall has agreed to have Jeff present at the services committee. So he'll be here at that time. Also, as of April 7th, trail permits will be available at our partner locations. And then we will be posting the information where those locations are, many of whom are those were utilized last year. The trail permits will also be available online as of April 14th. So keep your eyes out for those and certainly pass that information along. I do want to mention that I misspoke last week when I reported to you that I had surveyed the board, but I had forgotten that I requested legislators respond to Rebecca. And that is with regard to the NIPA visit for the general tour and discussion about the Smart Path project. I do have 2 responses, and so we will be organizing the staff who typically attend as well as the legislators. So we'll share out that date if it's something you can once we have that scheduled. Next week at Operations Committee, Dylan will be here on my behalf as I will be away. And you will have the orientation for our public defender and our conflict defender starting at 5 o'clock. And then lastly, I wanted to give you an update on the conversation we had at Finance with regards to sales tax. We do have an amended Senate version from the 3 years, the extender being granted for 3 years, reduced to 2 years. We have not yet seen an assembly bill as introduced as the same as. So as soon as we hear that, we would like to consider that this evening. However, the way that it works is if we introduce the support for the bills before they have reached the floor of the state, we have to do them again. And that is why we were successful in the first iteration for the 3 years until they made an adjustment to only be granting 2-year extenders. So as soon as we hear that, I'll work with the chair to schedule a special board meeting. I'm hopeful that will be ahead of one of your committees in the next couple of weeks so that we can get those updated packets should the board approve, like you had last month. We can get those submitted to the state for their consideration. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Ms. Kern?
So when we got the report in February, we had 60-some people that were living in temporary housing, and we took away 18. So is our number today, is that in the 40s? We reported 65 in February, and they have been reduced by 12. So by my count, it would be 52.
Anyone else? Any old business comes before the board? Any new business? Ms. Curran?
Just a thought, it's springtime again. I always think of new growth and what can people do in the community. So I kind of try to remind people you could volunteer for a food bank, you could donate to Newell House, or perhaps this is the year that you and your family consider being a foster parent or a foster family. I would encourage everybody to get out and get active in your community. Your community needs you.
Any other new business? Mr. Reagan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In your boxes tonight, you should have received a copy of the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency's annual report. I would urge you to take the time to go through it. You'll see many local businesses from your districts that have been assisted by the IDA, and it's at a time when we're looking at the need for job development, for helping businesses to grow and expand. there's a lot of good news in this report. And there's a lot of growth in local companies, both small companies with just one employee and some with several hundred, like Corning and Elko. A lot of these projects did not just happen in a vacuum. They happened because of the partnership with the staff of the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency, which worked with a lot of these companies to help get them access to capital, get them access to loans, and help them put together their projects. And whether we're talking about Potsdam specialty paper, one of our two remaining paper mills, whether we're talking about Corning and its ability to grow and provide high quality employment, whether we're talking about Conexus, which is a small Canadian high-tech firm that has recently moved to the Newell building in Ogdensburg and is now growing from 8,000 square feet to 38,000 square feet, and adding new jobs and helping us to move a few years ago, the whole building was collapsing, the roof was falling apart. A huge major industrial building on the waterfront of Ogdensburg was about to become a derelict building off the tax rolls. Thanks to the hard work of the staff of the IDA and their partnership with the city of Ogdensburg, we are going to be able to get that building back on the tax rolls and bringing new jobs into the heart of Ogdensburg. So if you're looking for good news, I encourage you to take a minute and read that report.
Any other new business? Okay, on the committee reports, does anybody have a committee report? Do we have a need for executive session?
We do for litigation, negotiations, personnel, which is the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and appointments. I would also make a request that if there is no objection, I would like to have the sheriff join us for executive session.
Okay. Any objections? Motion to go into executive session. Ms. Curran, second by Mr. Smithers. All in favor?
Appointment Environmental Management Council, term to expire 4/3/2025, Shannon Hurlbut from Chase Mills. For Fire Advisory Board, Mark Brash, Potsdam. For Kenneth Stahl of Ogdensburg, also Fire Advisory Board. Under reappointment, Fire Advisory Board, term to expire 2/28/2026. Robert Kerr from Norfolk. John H. Lejam from County Route 54, it's P.O. Box 32 in Moira, and then Christopher Sherwin, which is Morris Street, Morristown.
Can I get a second on those?
Second.
Any discussion of Mr. Lightfoot? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mr. Hall?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have an appointment to the Community Services Board and Mental Health Subcommittee, term to expire 12/31/2026. Angela Burke. And the Youth Advisory Board as youth representatives, Brooke Boyce from Messina, Emmeline Culp from Governor, and Zoe McLean of Colton.
Get a second. Ms. Terminelli, any discussion? Mr. Burke?
I'll be
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mr. Jeanette?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My appointment for the Workforce Development Board, term to expire 3/31/2025, Christopher Coffey Potsdam.
Okay, can I get a second? Mr. Hall, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. There's no chair appointments, and can I get a motion to adjourn? Curran, seconded by Mr. Fay, all in favor?
Aye.